Okay guys, my name is Joshua Dagahuya and I have assigned topic weather. Weather is a description of physical condition in the atmosphere, humidity, temperature, air pressure, wind, and precipitation over short time scales. For you to know guys, weather is the temporary behavior of the atmosphere because sa loob lang ng ilang segundo, oras, ay maaari itong magbago. Climate is the average weather and usually refers to average weather condition over long periods, at least seasons, but more often years or decades. Climate is mag-change siya through season or years or decades. Climate change has greatly affected people during the previous major time of continental glaciations change in Earth temperature over varying periods during the past million years. Significant changes correspond to glacial, which is cool, and interglacial, which is warm periods, over the past 800,000 years. Early-made changes come from three main periods: the instrumental record, historical, and the paleoproxy record. Paleoproxy or proxy data and direct evidence using natural records of climate variability, which is tree rings, sediments, ice cores, fossil pollen, or carbon-14. First is proxy climate records or ice cores. Polar ice caps of mountain glaciers have an accumulation record of snow that has been transformed into glacial ice over hundreds to thousands of years. Two impact gases being measured in ice cores are carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and methane, CH4. Of two, it appears methane most closely follows climate change determined from the geologic record over the past million years. For you to know, guys, um, ice core is kung makakita ka ng like motor, example, motor, um, yung cylinder, yung cylinder niya which is katulad lang ng core, or ice cores, which is yung ice core is cylinder, second is tree rings. The growth of tree rings is influenced by climate, both temperature and precipitation. Many trees put on one growth ring per year, and patterns and tree rings therewith. Sa matag tuig guys is isa lang ka tree rings ang mabuhat or sa kahoy. When conditions are good for growth, a ring is wide. When conditions are poor, the ring is narrow. Tree rings chronology, known as dendrochronology. So, ito na nga guys. This is tree rings. First growth is yung pinakaubod niya or pinakaubod. During rainy season is dikit yung rings or um, gagmay lang iyang mga pagitan sa mga rings. And dry season naman is yung medyo wide na yung mga rings and scar from forest fire. Mo ni guys, diri na to makita kung unsa ang nahitabo sa kahoy during during sa gamay pa siya. If sa gamay pa na kahoy, ato na siyang samaran o idutod sa iyang pinakaunod, scar from forest fire. Sa gamay pa ang kahoy, ato na siyang sunugon, makita gyapon nato na siya sa hantod sa iyang pagkaputol or siyang pagkadako. Di jud na siya mawala. Sediments, biological material including pollen from plants is deposit on the land and stored for very long periods in the lake, bog, and pond sediments and once transformed downstream to the coast in the ocean. Pollen, pollen is useful because the quantity of pollen is an indicator of the relative abundance of each plant species. The pollen can be dated, and since the grains of preserved in sedimentary layers that might be dated, we can develop a chronology based on the types of plants found at the different times. We can construct a climatic history. Uh, like this. Okay. The sporopollenin is yung may shell, and like this, yung like this, may mukhang virus. We have two types of pollen, which are the sporopollenin and pollen. Pollen is yung the sporopollenin is yung may shell or like this, and yung pollen is tiny like jelly. Sporopollenin is highly cross-linked polymer composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And fossil pollen has been used to interpret the climate record from the past few million few million years because the pollen grains are from plants related directly to modern plant species, and we know that the climate condition are modern plants. And corals have hard skeletons composed of calcium carbonate or CaCO3 mineral extract by seawater colors. The carbonate contains isotopes of oxygen as well as a variety of trace metal which have been used to determine the temperature of the water in which the coral grew. The coral growth of co- the growth of corals has been dated directly with a variety of dating techniques over short time or short periods of coral growth, thereby revealing the chronology of climate change over variable periods. And this is corals. Siya ang nag-determine or determine sa temperature sa water or sa asa siya pwede or sa asa siya comfortable na motubo. And last is carbon-14. Radioactive carbon-14 or 14C is produced in the upper atmosphere by the collision of cosmic rays and nitrogen-14 or 14N. Cosmic rays come, comes from outer space. Those the Earth receives are predominantly from the sun. The abundance of cosmic rays varies with the number of sunspots, so-called, because they appear as or uh, dark areas on the sun. The frequency of sunspots has been accurately measured for decades and observed by people for nearly 1,000 years. A sunspot active increases more energy from the sun reach Earth. The ocean activity increase more energy from the sun. There is an associated solar wind which produce ionized particles consisting mostly of protons and electrons um, emanating from the sun. And this is the example of our carbon-14. Medyo malabo. Wala na ko kita kuan laing picture. Sorry. Adjustments. People can adjust to the threat of global warming in two ways. Adapt, learn to live with the future global climate change over the next 20 years because there is warming in the pipeline from greenhouse gases already emitted. Mitigate, mitigate, work to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases and take action to reduce the undesirable effects of global warming. Sa adjustments naman guys ay pwede tayong mag-adjust in two ways, which is adapt and to mitigate. Mm, And that's all guys for my report, and thank you for thank you.